Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 4th of November in the year 2025. Let's now take a look at the news headlines. Government secures 5 billion kwacha loan to clear farmer payments. ZICTA gives mobile operators 21 days to improve network quality. Zambia records 8.2% drop in gender-based violence cases, says police. In international news, presidential campaign in Guinea-Bissau begins amid opposition exclusion. In sports, 1974 AFCON silver medalist SIMULAMBO pays courtesy visit to FAZ, expresses desire to collaborate. Join me for these and many more stories after the break.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Camnet TV main news now showing on Top Star Channel 105, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and the Kenstream app. With the main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. The Zambia Police Service has recorded an 8.2% reduction in gender-based violence (GBV) cases during the third quarter of 2025. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga says a total of 9,819 nationwide between July and September this year, compared to 10,782 cases reported during the same period in 2024. Out of the total cases, 6,203 were criminal, while 3,696 were non-criminal, reflecting continued progress in community awareness and preventive policies. The report shows that Lusaka province recorded the highest number of criminal GBV cases at 1,326, followed by Luapula with 857 and Western Province with 779. The Airport Division recorded the lowest number with just 11 cases, indicating improved reporting systems and enforcement in high-density areas. Despite the overall decline, the report shows that women and girls remain disproportionately affected, accounting for over 77% of all victims.
The Zambia Police Service through the Victim Support Unit has recorded a total of 9,899 cases of gender-based violence countrywide in the third quarter of 2025, compared to 10,782 cases recorded during the same period in 2024, representing an 8.2% reduction in overall cases. General overview. Out of the 9,899 cases recorded, 6,203 were criminal cases, while 3,696 were non-criminal, translating to 63% and 37% respectively. The data shows a positive trend of declining gender-based violence cases over the same quarter of the previous year, reflecting the impact of ongoing sensitization and community policing interventions. Lusaka province recorded the highest number of criminal gender-based violence cases with 1,326, followed by Luapula with 857 and Western 779. Airport Division recorded the lowest with 11 cases. Victim analysis. A total of 2,318 children and 7,581 adults were victims of GBV during the quarter under review. Of these, 5,977 were women and 1,604 were men. This demonstrates that women and girls remain the most affected, accounting for over 77% of all GBV victims. The Zambia Police Service reiterates its commitment to combating all forms of gender-based violence through continued enforcement of the law, awareness campaigns, and victim support services. We urge all citizens to report any form of gender-based violence cases and to work together with us to promote a violent-free society. The Zambia Police Service, through the Victim Support Unit, has recorded a total of 9,899 cases of gender-based violence countrywide in the third quarter of 2025, compared to 10,782 cases recorded during the same period in 2024, representing an 8.2% reduction in overall cases. General overview. Out of the 9,899 cases recorded, 6,203 were criminal cases, while 3,696 were non-criminal, translating to 63% and 37% respectively. The data shows a positive trend of declining gender-based violence cases over the same quarter of the previous year, reflecting the impact of ongoing sensitization and community policing interventions. Lusaka province recorded the highest number of criminal gender-based violence cases with 1,326, followed by Luapula with 857 and Western 779. Airport Division recorded the lowest with 11 cases. Victim analysis. A total of 2,318 children and 7,581 adults were victims of GBV during the quarter under review. Of these, 5,977 were women and 1,604 were men. This demonstrates that women and girls remain the most affected, accounting for over 77% of all GBV victims. The Zambia Police Service reiterates its commitment to combating all forms of gender-based violence through continued enforcement of the law, awareness campaigns, and victim support services. We urge all citizens to report any form of gender-based violence cases and to work together with us to promote a violent-free society. The Zambia Police Service, through the Victim Support Unit.
The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has reported a slight decrease in the cost of living for families in Lusaka, noting that the basic needs and nutrition basket, BANB, for October 2025 stood at 10,834.61 Ngwe, down from 11,000 kwacha 289.98 Ngwe in September. The modest reduction was mainly attributed to lower food prices recorded during the month. The organization has observed that while the drop in the BNNB brings some relief, many households continue to struggle with the high cost of essential non-food items such as energy and housing. JCTR Social and Economic Development Program Officer Ms. Lukwesa Msonda says the findings underscore the urgent need for dignity-centered and rights-based policy interventions that not only stabilize food prices but also address structural challenges affecting livelihoods, which she emphasized that nutrition, security and access to basic needs should form the foundation of national development planning.
Basic needs and nutrition basket for Lusaka for a family of 5 stood at 10,834 kwacha in October 2025, decreasing from 11,289 kwacha in September. This reduction was largely attributed to a drop in the cost of basic food items, which fell from 4,917 kwacha in September to 4,401 kwacha in October. Notable price decreases were observed in key commodities such as carpenter, which reduced from 555 kwacha to 342 kwacha for 1 kg, chicken, which reduced from 427 kwacha to 366 kwacha, and soya pieces reduced from 182 kwacha to 143 kwacha. However, some items like vegetables and bananas saw slight increases, indicating persistent volatility in fresh food produce pricing. The cost of essential non-food items remained relatively stable, with a slight increase from 6,372 kwacha in September to 6,432 kwacha in October. Notably, charcoal prices rose from 516 kwacha to 553 kwacha for a 90 kg bag, continuing to strain household energy budgets. Zambia remains challenged by deep and widespread poverty, with many families vulnerable to shocks that erase minimal gains. Poverty is not merely a lack of income. It is an exclusion from the conditions that allow dignified living. Households in urban areas continue to face a double squeeze. That is, food prices for key items remain high, and non-food essentials continue to absorb a growing share.
The Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, has issued a 21-day ultimatum to mobile network operators and tower infrastructure providers to enhance the resilience of their networks or face regulatory action. Speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka, ZICTA Director General Engineer Collins Mbulo said the deteriorating quality of telecommunication services in Zambia had become unacceptable and posed a threat to Zambia's digital transformation agenda. Engineer Mbulo said the directive requires operators such as Infratel and IHS Towers to invest immediately in infrastructure expansion, particularly in undeserved and rural areas, and to ensure that all major network hubs are equipped with reliable backup power systems. He added that the move aims to reduce downtime caused by power outages and improve connectivity across the country. He stressed that all licenses must adopt sustainable energy solutions, including solar and hybrid systems, to strengthen service continuity and minimize disruptions. He warned that failure by any operator to comply within the set period would attract regulatory consequences, as the authority will not tolerate excuses for poor performance.
Daily lives of the citizens are affected because of poor quality of service. It undermines productivity. It brings frustration and also frustrates innovation, and erodes public trust in the very system that's meant to connect and empower our people. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to mention that we look forward shortly to the era of poor quality of service to be over. The people of Zambia are no longer pleading for improved services. They are demanding it, and we do recognize that. As the Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority, we will not stand by while consumers continue to suffer because poor internet connectivity and unreliable service delivery. Surely, decisive action needs to be taken. In this line, I look at three thematic areas. The first one is infrastructure investment and energy resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, ZICTA has issued the following mandatory and binding directives to all mobile network operators and the tower infrastructure providers. The licensees are required to 1. Expand their network infrastructure. Immediate investment is expected to increase capacity and coverage, especially in underserved and rural areas.
Government has secured a 5 billion structured loan facility to expedite payments to farmers who supplied maize to a Food Reserve Agency (FRA) during the 2025 crop marketing season. This follows delays that affected thousands of small-scale farmers across the country after the agency purchased more maize than initially planned. Delivering a ministerial statement on the status of farmer payments in Parliament on Tuesday, Agriculture Minister Ruben Piri said the FRA had initially targeted to buy 543,000 metric tons of maize at a total cost of 3,069 kwacha, but ended up purchasing 1,663,934 metric tons valued at 11.3 billion kwacha. He attributed the excess purchases to a bumper harvest and limited private sector participation in maize marketing, which compelled government to increase its share of the crop. The increase, he explained, led to an additional financing requirement of 7.6 billion kwacha beyond what had been budgeted for. The minister has, however, assured the nation that government was fully committed to paying off farmers and had already disbursed 2.8 billion kwacha towards settling the outstanding amounts.
The remaining balance, Madam Speaker, is being addressed through structured financial interventions to ensure that all farmers are paid as quickly as possible. To accelerate the payments, Madam Speaker, government through the FRA has successfully concluded engagements with commercial banks for a structured loan facility amounting to 5 billion Zambia kwacha. This facility will bridge the financing gap and enable the FRA to clear much of the remaining dues to farmers. Further, Madam Speaker, the agency has initiated maize sales to enhance its liquidity. These efforts will enable government to resolve the outstanding payments to farmers. These efforts, Madam Speaker, will enable government to resolve the outstanding payments to farmers. Madam Speaker, allow me to assure the nation that there is sufficient storage space for all maize collected by the Food Reserve Agency. The FRA has a total of 1,105,510 metric tons of its own storage space. The FRA has a total of 1,105,510 metric tons of its own storage space.
The Higher Education Authority has warned members of the public against enrolling in 4 institutions that are operating illegally in Zambia. The affected institutions are Broken Hill College of Applied Sciences and Education, Chiwombo University College, Mafken University, and Serenge University College. According to the authority, the institutions have been found offering or advertising higher education programs without registration as required by the Higher Education Act No. 4 of 2013. Higher Education Authority Corporate Communications Officer Bebo Boniface Musoba says recent inspections conducted by its inspectorate unit uncovered illegal operations at the 4 institutions. Mr. Musoba has explained that under Section 15(1) of the Act, no person is allowed to operate a private higher education institution without registration. The inspection report indicated that Broken Hill College of Applied Sciences and Education and Serenge University College are operating without registration and have since been directed to submit applications for regularization.
In February 2025, the authority issued directives to the 2 higher education institutions on matters relating to the enrollment of students without prescribed minimum entry requirements and the offering of learning programs that were not accredited by the authority. The college and the university were instructed to rectify these breaches in line with the Higher Education Act 2013 as read together with the Higher Education Amendment Act 2021 and the Higher Education General Regulations 2024. Following full considerations of reports submitted, the authority is pleased to confirm that 1. Mpika College of Education has regularized the learning status of all affected students and has aligned its enrollment processes with minimum entry qualifications requirement. 2. Supershine University has ceased the delivery of unaccredited programs and is undertaking the necessary steps to ensure that its program offering meet accreditation standards. Accordingly, no punitive measures will be applied and both higher education institutions are expected to maintain continued compliance going forward. The authority commends the willingness of the two institutions to cooperate with regulatory directives and to take corrective actions in the interest of safeguarding quality in higher education provision. The authority further reiterates that 1. All higher education institutions must enroll students who meet the legally prescribed minimum entry qualifications. 2. Only accredited learning programs may be offered and advertised.
Opposition Socialist Party National Resource Mobilization Chairperson Olivia Piri has accused Chadiza District Commission of engaging in corrupt practices involving the alleged extortion of 20,000 kwacha from a local farmer. Ms. Piri, who is also a member of the party's Central Committee and aspiring parliamentary candidate for Chadiza, says the incident occurred last week when the district commissioner, working with political cadres, unlawfully impounded a truck carrying charcoal. Speaking when she reported the matter to the Anti-Corruption Commission, Ms. Piri alleged that the DC and his associates demanded money from the farmer to release the vehicle without following proper procedure and in the absence of the police or forestry department. She said the affected farmer was forced to borrow money, offering cows as collateral to recover the impounded truck. According to Ms. Piri, the payment was made without any official receipt, raising questions about where the money went. She added that the ACC has acknowledged receipt of the report and assured her that investigations would be conducted.
I'm here to report on corruption activity. It is alleged that last week on Wednesday, there was a corruption activity that happened right in Chadiza involving a farmer and the DC. It is alleged that the DC and some of the cadres that executed money from the farmer who went to buy charcoal in one of the farms. So what happened was apparently the DC apprehended the truck. On top of that, he went ahead himself, while acting with some of the cadres. They executed money from that farmer without following the laid-down procedure. There was no presence of the police. There was no presence of the forest department. So now, as it is, the President Hakainde Hichilema has preached to us that we all need to fight corruption. And the fight of corruption, it is all of us' duty. As a responsible citizen, I've come to report because now we have heard that he's intimidating people and trying to threaten people. So to me, I've taken this new interest as a responsible citizen to report this crime because as far as I'm concerned, the DC is not a police, the DC is not the forest department, and I believe that in the Chadiza, there are different departments that are supposed to deal with different matters. But it is so shocking that between the DC and the cadres, they were able to execute money from a farmer, and that farmer paid, it is alleged, 20,000 kwacha for them to be given back their truck, which was impounded by the DC himself. So it is very disappointing at the time when the President of the Republic of Zambia is preaching about fighting corruption and his own appointing authorities, the people he has appointed in these districts to represent the people, are the ones that are actively involved and they be practicing this corruption. And to me, as a citizen, it's so painful that a poor farmer had.
Acting Secretary to the Cabinet Siazongo Siakalenge has urged public service unions to submit reasonable demands that balance worker welfare with the nation's economic realities. Speaking when he officially opened the 2026 salary negotiations today, Mr. Siazongo commended the unions for maintaining stable and cordial industrial relations, describing this cooperation as a solid foundation for productive discussions. Mr. Siakalenge highlighted the government's ongoing efforts to improve employee welfare, including the implementation of salary increments, recruitment of essential workers such as teachers and health professionals, and the issuance of treasury authorities to create and upgrade positions, thereby enhancing career development opportunities. He also emphasized pension reforms and timely payment of benefits as key measures to safeguard public service employees' financial security. He further outlined that Zambia's 2026 fiscal policy will prioritize restoring and maintaining fiscal sustainability while supporting economic growth, job creation, and improved living standards.
Implementation of salary increments, despite the adverse economic situation the country had been facing in the recent past. Continued recruitment of health workers, teachers, and other workers across public service. Therefore, on this very point, the peers in the Ministry of Health should be a very proud peers in that close to 20,000 health workers were employed in that ministry. And for my peers colleague from the Ministry of Education, she should be the happiest that well over 40,000 teachers have been employed by the new government. Issuance of treasury authorities, which is that to continue facilitating the upgrade and freezing and creation of the new postings across line ministries.
A senior government official in the Ministry of Agriculture has called on agro dealers in Central Province who are under the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP to make farming inputs available to farmers whenever they want to redeem. Speaking during the sensitization meeting held in Kabwe, Assistant Director Peter Zulu has appealed to all agro dealers to distribute inputs before the onset of rains. Meanwhile, Chiwombo District Agriculture Coordinator Sylvester Chungulu has disclosed that the district has over 3,000 farmers that have already accessed the inputs under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. Mr. Chungulu has assured farmers that the process of accessing inputs will speed up to ensure that farmers access inputs before the onset of rains. In addition, SIDCO sales agronomist for Central Province, Simon Kalinga, has assured farmers that SIDCO will sell them genuine seed that is available in the province. More from Nines.
Stakeholders in the implementation of the Farmer Input Support Program FISP convened for a one-day sensitization meeting to review and emphasize their respective roles in ensuring smooth implementation of the program. Peter Zulu, the Assistant Director in the Department of Agribusiness and Marketing, has advised agro dealers to save farmers promptly.
We are here in Central Province to sensitize ministry staff and our stakeholders, agro dealers, in the process of redemption for FISIP. As you may be aware, this year we rolled out 100% e-voucher. So the e-voucher has brought efficiency in the system. That's the whole idea. That the private sector also up their game, that we should distribute inputs as early as possible before the rains actually come down.
Chibombo Acting District Agricultural Coordinator Sylvester Chingulu has this to say.
Chibombo District, we have a target of 21,106 farmers that are targeted for this season. Out of that number, to date, 5,000 plus farmers have deposited. Out of the 5,000, we have 4,900 plus that are ready to redeem. And so far, over 3,500 farmers have so far redeemed their inputs.
Agro dealers were delighted to be part of the meeting.
The sensitization by the Ministry of Agriculture, I think it has helped us to leverage as well as get equipped to what is required. As CITCO, we have placed our seed all over Central Province.
Basically, I know this meeting today is very helpful to us because we've interacted with officers who are in charge on the issue of e-voucher and CMIS. We have learned a lot, and basically to help us to grow and to improve our operation as agro dealers.
Reporting, I'm Sophia Msonda in Kabwe.
From Central Province, Kabwe in particular, we now go to Western Province, where the Ministry of Education has reiterated its commitment to completing all stalled education infrastructure projects across the country. Permanent Secretary for Administration, Norian Muneku, said the government is determined to ensure that all abandoned or delayed school projects are brought to completion as part of efforts to improve access to quality education for all learners. Speaking during an inspection of the 61 million kwacha Pambashe Boarding Secondary School in Kawambwa, Wapula Province, Ms. Muneku said President Hakainde Hichilema's administration has not only pledged to complete such projects but has also released necessary funds to ensure their timely delivery. The projects are being implemented with support from the European Union, EU, under the Budget Support Program. Meanwhile, Site Manager Zahan Jian of China Gansu Construction Company confirmed that work was progressing well following the timely release of funds, and Ministry of Education Head of Infrastructure Engineer Lwendo Habanti added that the new school will include 27 staff houses, modern laboratories and other facilities designed to enhance learning and teacher welfare. Ms. Muneku was accompanied by Engineer Habanti, Dr. Kasune Zulu and other officials from the ministry and the European Union.
And even as we speak, there's no one who's going to complain that we are pushing them when yet we haven't given them any money. We are pushing them for a reason that we've provided them the financial support, and this infrastructure, in particular Pambashe, where we are today, has to conclude by or before 31st. In fact, I'm saying by 31st because that's a handover time. But I expect that by mid-December, all this should finish. You're hearing. I'm glad, I'm very happy with what you're doing so far. In fact, what I'm even more impressed is the quality that I've seen. Strong workmanship, durable structures. I haven't seen a single crack.
Boarding school, it has 27 teachers' houses, 5 auxiliary staff houses, 1 for the head and deputy, and then we have got 20 which are for senior teachers. Then we have got the boarding facility, a dining hall. We have got 4 hostels for girls and 4 hostels for boys. And basically we have got 2 labs. We have got 3 1x3 classroom blocks. We have got a computer lab. We have got an HE, a 1x2 HE block. A school hall behind me, the admin, and also a big and spacious library at the school. And also for the health of the learner, we have ensured that all the schools that we are building, they have sick bays. So basically, I think that's what the school is about here.
Now that's a story from Northern Province. We now go to Western Province, where the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has reported significant progress in its voter education campaign, with Chairperson Mwangala Zalomis expressing confidence that a majority of citizens are now aware of the ongoing voter registration exercise. Speaking during a monitoring visit Mrs. Zalomis urged voter registration officers to perform their duties diligently and encouraged them to communicate in languages that are widely understood within their respective communities. She added that ECZ commissioners and officers are actively conducting nationwide monitoring exercises to ensure that no eligible voter is left behind. In a related appeal, youth leader Mwakamu Muimwa encouraged young Zambians to register as voters, emphasizing the importance of participating in the upcoming 2026 general elections.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, is currently conducting a nationwide mass voter registration exercise ahead of the 2026 general elections. The exercise commenced on 13th October to 11th November 2025, and Rwampa district in Western Province has recorded a total of 21,669 registered voters. Electoral Commission of Zambia Chairperson Mangala Zulumias, who is in the province to monitor on the voter registration exercise being executed, has this to say.
So I think the voter education has scaled up, and I'm pleased to note that most people know about this process. Commission has also scaled up to go everywhere. Here we are. I'm the chairperson, but here I am. I'm in Rwampa today. Nobody expects me to be in Rwampa, but we've got to see. We've got to see what's going on. And the other commissioners, they've been to Muchinga, Northern Province, Luapula. General Mukanda is right now is in Eastern Province, I think is in Chama. Commissioner Chipenzi is in Northwestern. He's been to Kavompo, Zambezi, Chavuma, Solwezi, and Commissioner Mutiti has been to Muchinga, has been to Nakonde. She's in Kasama, she's been to Mpika, so we are all over the place, including the management, the staff of ECZ are also all over the country, trying to ensure that as many people as possible register. And as we promise the people that we don't intend to leave anybody, no one.
And Kahoma Council Secretary Lisa Pansela says since the program started, Kahoma is faring well in terms of voter registration exercise.
Also wish to note that Kahoma is one of the 30 districts in the country that has been conducting voter registration exercises, CVR, that is continuous voter registration. So we began this exercise up to August of 2025 when this CVR collapsed into the mass registration that we are currently doing. And under that CVR program, we managed to capture 7,800 new registrations. So we are faring well. Right now we are in the 5th phase. We are here to get updates in the next.
Meanwhile, some we've spoken to in Rwampa district are appealing to other youths to register as voters for them to participate in the coming elections.
Tukawapinga utaskadi lutuza kulilukete materiali oluvata abanchalo basusuwera kuli bataye nibo na batoshimba bateni bakone kushimba mu utaskadi
nana kwete fatengina kufera inyani mwashimba ma utaskadi lwaitumira kuti bakone kutorushimba ma utaskadi pakaufi.
Kelvin Kabira Musiebo, Camnet News in Rwampa district, Western Province.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has intensified its campaign against illegal street vending, apprehending 426 vendors between 25th July and 17th October 2025 in the Central Business District, CBD. The local authority says the move is part of the ongoing efforts to restore order and promote cleanliness in the city. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the apprehended traders were operating illegally in various parts of the CBD despite several warnings. Ms. Mwamba disclosed that out of the total number, 78 offenders appeared before the fast track court at the Civic Center, where they were fined in accordance with Section 355, Cap 88 of the laws of Zambia. She added that the court also ordered the disposal of their confiscated goods. Ms. Mwamba explained that the operations were carried out by Council Police in collaboration with the State Street Vending Exercise.
In an effort to promote order and sanity in Lusaka, the Lusaka City Council apprehended 426 street vendors between 28th July and 17th October 2025 for illegally operating in the Central Business District, the CBD. Out of the 426 vendors, 78 appeared before the fast-track court at the Civic Center and were fined in accordance with the law and pursuant to Section 355 Cap 88 of the laws of Zambia, and their merchandise was disposed of by the court. The council police officers, in collaboration with the state police, have since continued to conduct operations in the CBD as part of the ant-vending exercise. The council wishes to remind the public that street vending remains illegal as stipulated in the Statutory Instrument Number 12 of 2018, hence the need for traders to utilize designated trading spaces. The council remains committed to promoting a conducive trading environment that is orderly and healthy for all traders.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has expressed concern over the increasing number of fire-related incidents across Zambia, urging citizens to exercise caution and prioritize fire safety. Between August and mid-October 2025, over 300 fire outbreaks were recorded nationwide, affecting homes, businesses, vehicles, and community spaces, resulting in an estimated 20 million kwacha in property damage. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Principal Public Relations Officer Lisedi Kanyanga says Lusaka, Copperbelt, and Central Provinces recorded the highest number of incidents during the period under review. She says preliminary assessments suggest that most fires were caused by negligence in handling electrical appliances, unattended cooking, open flames, improper waste or bush burning, and unsafe handling of fuel. The ministry has since urged residents to take preventive action by avoiding careless burning of waste and vegetation, ensuring safe installation and maintenance of electrical equipment, storing fuel and flammable substances safely, and keeping basic firefighting tools such as extinguishers at homes and workplaces.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development would like to express concern over the number of fire and fire-related cases that keep on increasing across the country. In the period under review, which is between August 2025 and mid-October 2025, the country has recorded over 300 fire and fire-related cases across the country. These incidents affected residential areas, commercial premises, motor vehicles, and community spaces, resulting in significant property damages worth over 20 million kwacha. As a ministry, we would like to take this opportunity to urge the public to take immediate preventive action by avoiding careless burning of waste, fields, and vegetation, ensuring safe installation and maintenance of electrical equipment, safety storing fuel and inflammable substances, keeping basic firefighting tools such as fire extinguishers at home and business premises. In addition, we also want to remind the public of legal provisions of prohibiting open burning of waste in accordance to the Environmental Management Act number 12 of 2021 and Statutory Instrument number 112 of 2013, that any person who conducts open burning without authorization is liable to a fine ranging between 1,800 to 15,000 kwacha or imprisonment for up to 2 years. The ministry therefore cautions that enforcement efforts will be heightened and individuals or entities found violating these provisions will be prosecuted in accordance with the law.
You are still watching main news on Camnet TV. We now take our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Please do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mush, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa. Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Welcome back to the Camnet News Desk, and now in international news. The Tanzanian government has warned citizens against sharing photos and videos that could cause panic or demean human life as internet connectivity is gradually restored following a 6-day nationwide shutdown during deadly post-election protests. Mobile users received text messages on Monday night cautioning that circulating such material could attract treason charges. The warning came as social media users began posting unverified images purporting to show victims of the unrest, prompting authorities to take down several online pages that had gained large followings within hours. President Samia Suluhu Hassan was sworn in on Monday after a disputed October 29th election that excluded main opposition candidates, acknowledged loss of life during the protest, and called on security agencies to restore calm.
Internet access was partially restored in Tanzania Monday night with a warning to users not to share images or messages that could disturb order. Mobile phone subscribers received a text message on Monday night saying that sharing images that could cause panic or demean human life would lead to treason charges. The authorities appear to want to keep the lead on reports of killings of demonstrators by security forces. A social media page that had been uploading videos and photos of purported election protest victims was pulled down on Monday evening after attracting thousands of followers within a day. The government has yet to release an official death toll from the protests, but President Samia Suluhu Hassan, during her Monday swearing-in, said there had been loss of life and urged security forces to ensure a return to normalcy. The internet shutdown, which started on the eve of the election, has lasted nearly a week. Life was slowly returning to normal in the capitals Dar es Salaam and Dodoma, with gas stations and grocery shops reopening after days of closure.
A global hunger monitor has, for the first time, confirmed famine conditions in 2 cities in Sudan. Al-Fasher, the capital of North Darfur, captured last weekend by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, and Kadugli, another besieged city in Sudan's south. The news comes as thousands of civilians continue to flee Al-Fasher to surrounding towns. The circumstances became very difficult. There was no food, no transportation, and it was very difficult to leave home to find food or water. For me, my injury happened when I left home once with my container to bring water from the water pump. A random bullet hit me and my bones were broken. Thanks be to God that no one from my family was with me. Most of them were killed in the shelling. Fighting between the RSF and the army over the past 30 months has caused severe hunger and malnutrition to spread across Sudan, as well as displacing millions of people. But the UN-backed Integrated Food Security Phase classification has previously only confirmed famine in camps for displaced people around Al-Fasher. During the 18-month siege of the city, residents said food supplies were cut off, forcing people to eat animal feed and sometimes their hides. The hunger monitoring group says famine is also threatening 20 other areas in Darfur and Central Kordofan region, where fighting has intensified in recent months.
Nigeria has continued rejecting claims by the U.S. President Donald Trump of an existential Christian genocide. Its Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar said on Tuesday that the state involvement in religious persecutions was impossible.
What guides us, and this is what shows that it's impossible for there to be a religious persecution that can be supported in any way, shape or form by the government of Nigeria at any level, be it federal, be it regional, be it local. It's impossible. And our laws are there, and all the answers lie in this.
Nigeria's population of 220 million is split almost equally between Christians and Muslims. Nigeria has long faced insecurity from various fronts, including the Boko Haram extremist group, which seeks to establish its radical interpretation of Islamic law and has also targeted Muslims it deems not Muslim enough.
And finally, in sports news this evening, veteran Zambian footballer and 1974 AFCON silver medal winner Gianni Simulambo recently visited Football House, where he paid a courtesy call on the Football Association of Zambia, FA's General Secretary. During his visit, Simulambo expressed his desire to work closely with the FA's to develop football in Zambia, and FA's General Secretary welcomed Simulambo's enthusiasm and assured him of the association's commitment to collaborating with all stakeholders, including legendary players like himself, to promote the sport. Simulambo's visit underscores FA's efforts to engage with former players and capitalize on their experience for the benefit of Zambian football. As an AFCON silver medalist, Simulambo's involvement could be instrumental in shaping the country's football future. This meeting comes on another notable Zambian football figure who recently paid a courtesy call on FA's GS.
We're trying to see how we can integrate all these legends in how we want to manage the game for the future, because like in many other areas, you cannot grow or you cannot develop without history. You need people who have been there before, people with experience, so that you can tap into their knowledge, their wisdom, their experience And I think it's the reason I didn't hesitate to say that I think he should come here. We meet so that you can share some of the ideas, suggestions, recommendations.
I'm really honored to be here, Football House, today, November 4, 2025, to share what I'm going to share with the Secretariat. Lessons we can share with the next generation, because football, just as the GS was putting it, it's the same. I mean, corner kick is still corner kick. Penalty is a penalty. Handball is a handball. Free kick is a free kick. And definitely the new generation can learn a lot of lessons from us, especially when it comes to commitment. We were very, very committed during our era. We never used to look at money. We were just from the heart. You said, today I'm wearing the Zambian jersey that the GS gave me, the Zambian jersey. Once you wear that jersey, it's wafa wafa.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, we'll take a recap of stories that made headlines. Government secures 5 billion kwacha loan to clear farmer payments. ZICTA gives mobile operators 21 days to improve network quality. Zambia records 8.2% drop in gender-based violence cases, says police. Presidential campaign in Guinea-Bissau begins amid opposition exclusion. 1974 AFCON silver medalist Simulambo pays courtesy visit to FAZ, expresses desire to collaborate. We now look at the Camnet's verse for the day, coming from the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 16. It reads, Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. We end the scripture reading and we end the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and on the Kenstream app. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Good evening and God bless.